Welcome to this episode of Truth Seekers, where His Grace Bishop Emilianos of Miloa will answer questions sent in by the youth with a member of the youth.
Hello again, Chrissy, thanks for coming back. And I have another question for you. We have busy lives and packed schedules. How do we live every day as our last? For we don't know when God will take us. That's a difficult question for someone who's your age.
We don't know when God will take us, but I believe that we need to ask a question to ourselves daily. If God was to take us now, would He be happy with the worldly and spiritual choices that we have made in this life? We are in this world, but we are not of this world. And that basically means that we are in this world, but it isn't meant for us. We're meant for a better spiritual place.
That's right. So what would you do to be ready on a daily basis for when the Lord will call you?
Praying and making, keeping my faith strong in me, attending church, praying for others who need it.
I think it's very important if we manage to understand our limits and our strength. That's extremely important for all of us. Why do I say that? Because if we don't know our limits and our strength, our conscience cannot be clean that we've done what we could. We might think that we could do more and feel guilty, and this false guilt can destroy our thoughts and make us very uncomfortable. Or it could be we think that we can't do more and we're missing out because we could have helped more people and we could have done more spiritually for ourselves. So realizing our limits while we're still alive, it's very, very, very important. Of course, you're very young to think like that. But it's very important to know our limits. Once we do, once we know that I can do that much, I can't do more, because if I do more, it's not me. It's not the capacity that God has given me. It's pride. You can't wear clothes that they're bigger than your size. It looks funny. Yeah. So you have to wear the appropriate size of clothes. It's the same with your actions. They have to be according to your limits, according to your strength. If you don't act according to your strength, this could be hidden pride or ignorance. Either way, it's not going to help you. Yeah. It could even destroy you spiritually. So we have to realize what our limits are, and then what I would suggest is that we go up to what we can handle and a tiny little bit less. And why is that? Because when it's least expected, a temptation will rise. And if we don't have in storage a little bit of strength, we're not going to make it. Of course, God will always be there, and God can enlarge the amounts of strength that we will have, but we can't think like that. We need to be like governing our own house, our own strength accordingly to what we have now. And if God gives us more strength in the future, we can do more things. But we have to govern our present according to what God has given us now. So I can't just sleep less for myself. I'm talking about myself. If I know that this is my limits, because I can push myself in a way, but if I push myself too much, it's not going to end up well.
Yeah.
I will find myself sleeping on the traffic lights. I've done that. So it's dangerous. And when we go down dangerous paths, this is pride again. It's not simplicity, it's not humility, it's not the reality that God wants us to have. Dangerous paths that they are not safe, indicate pride and indicate people that they don't respect what God has given them. And they risk everything. It's like gambling, you might lose everything. And if you lose your life and you haven't done enough, then what are you doing? Living our life every day as our last, it's easier when we know our own limits. And then what happens is that our conscience is clean. I know that I can't do more, because if I do more, it's not going to end up well.
Yeah.
And then in front of God, I tell God, look, that's what I can do. You can do the rest. I can't do more than that. I'm honest. And if you want to take me now, forgive me for what I've done wrong. I tried, maybe not enough, but I tried. And the rest is up to Him. And our conscience is clean, and we move on. And in this way, when you know your limits and when you know your strength, you do not create problems around you. Let's say that they ask you to do something that you know that you can't do because it's too much. So what will you do if they ask you such a thing?
Take it step by step, very slowly, because I know that I will have God with me, alongside me, to help me, and just take it step by step, very slowly. And then if I make it, I make it. If I don't, at least I know that I tried with God there.
Once, my spiritual father, my elder, told me something. He told me plus, minus, end up in zero. Which means if you do more than what you can, you will end up doing less after, because you get tired, and then you do more, and then you do less, and you end up in zero. But if, as you said, you take small steps according to your strength, then it's always plus. It's plus, and that's how you grow. And sometimes doing less is more, and doing more will end up doing less, because you will go backwards. So if you do too much of acts of love and you don't have time to pray, that's doing more, and then you end up in less. You need a balance. You need to know your limits. There is no perfect Christian life, if we can say that we can reach perfection on earth, if we don't know our limits. It's extremely important, even for a young adult. When they establish their lives, they need to know what they can do and what they can't do. And then your conscience is clean, and then you always go plus, and you add things in your spiritual life. And this is when God will bless you, not when your attempts are above your strength. And as we said, this is pride. This is not wisdom, this is pride. And you can't say, I believe in God and He will help me and I'm doing more. This is pride. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure.